Is max level the best build of Bloodborne? The quest for the maximum level is very often a prerogative for many Dark Souls and Bloodborne players. This ultimate goal corresponds to the culmination of the search for power, which results in raising all the statistics of his character up to 99. Nevertheless, is this search for power worth the effort? Hi, this is Gita Funky Man and welcome to this video. I'm gonna show you why you shouldn't waste your time trying to reach the famous BL 544. You should watch this video until its end, because you'll discover some amazing figures which will show you the energy you spent in that goal uselessly. Learning exceeds statistics investment. The notion of max level is very ingrained in the minds of most players. Like classic JRPGs, From Software ARPGs allow you to evolve in areas with their own difficulty. It's complicated for some to get through early in the game, even if the most seasoned players will be able to deal with more powerful mobs than their current level. Note also that in Dark Souls and Bloodborne, the power of enemies doesn't change according to the statistics of your character. Developers chose to make certain places more difficult to access than others, surely in order to create a kind of pre-established guideline, especially for beginners. However, a player who knows these places and its mobs well will be able to understand them better and will thus be able to negotiate them more easily than a less experienced player. This feature doesn't exist in classic JRPGs because most of the time we've got simple and usual turn-based fights. The problem is that this mentality based on the cult of max level is very ingrained in players' minds. Most of them think like this: the higher level I am, the more powerful I'll be and the less damage I'll suffer. Let's check if this way of thinking is relevant, and more specifically on Bloodborne. Dark Souls and Bloodborne work differently from classic JRPGs. If we look closer, in Dark Souls and Bloodborne, empiricism very simply allows the player to acquire the necessary dexterity so that he can learn from his repeated failures. Still, it is necessary that he wants to invest a minimum in these games, because let's be honest, they offer a learning curve higher than the average video games. Anyway, the player will extirpate an experience in any case, so that he will finally be able to avoid enemy attacks, which previously posed a problem for him. In classical JRPGs, the player hasn't got the possibility of dodging enemy attacks, and here is the fundamental difference with the Soulsborne fights. The player's ability to absorb attacks isn't essential, since he can dodge them. If the player can avoid an opponent's hit, it means that he doesn't need to get as much defense he had thought, so as to manage this attack. Therefore, we can say that the experience that the player is gaining little by little allows him to develop a good general knowledge of the game. Eventually, he will gradually come to master enemy patterns and will suffer less damage. The power of the max level is very relative. The concept of soft caps. As we pointed out earlier, being max level isn't essential when facing the difficulties posed by the Dark Souls and Bloodborne. This difficulty depends mainly on the knowledge that the player has got of the enemies he encountered, as well as his ability to know how to face them. However, players who adhere to the max level have another desire: to hit harder. So the question is whether reaching BL 544 will really give them what they are looking for. Now we're going to look deeper and enter more into the pure technical side of these games. Indeed, you'll find in the Dark Souls and Bloodborne a statistics capping system. What does that mean? Well, actually, if you exceed a certain cap in particular stats, The defense points of your character, but also those of attack increase much less. Let's take a look at the stats caps of a specific From Software game. Here's what it is for Bloodborne. Above 50, most attack statistics almost no longer provide bonus damage. The endurance bar cap is set at 40. Nevertheless, weapons consume much less stamina than in Dark Souls. There is no notion of equipment weight directly correlated to endurance stats. Most weapons have no more than 2 attack bonuses, including an advancement exceeding 50 is worth it. Max level attack power and defense won't save you. Let's go into more detail in terms of damage, and let's compare those generated, for example, between a BL 100 and those of a BL 544 on Bloodborne. Of course, taking into account similar gems on the 2 characters. For this, we will use Cover's Bloodborne Stat Simulator, a wonderful tool which I give you the link in card in the video description. By the way, forget Monk and Monkey, it's bullshit. So, you'll notice that I chose as starting class the class Milk with Toast, which starts at BL 10. I distributed identical gems on the 3 builds, except for the starting class on which I privileged the Tempering Cursed Gem 27.2% rather than a Heavy Abyssal Cursed Gem. Indeed, the Strength Adjustment Gem isn't optimized for the starting class, because this one hasn't yet reached the strength cap, which allows to take advantage of the bonus conferred. Now, let's compare the 3 damage scenarios. I'd like you to note that I will only focus on AR figures. At BL 544, So Clever has an AR of 786, with 99 in strength and skill. At BL 100, So Clever has an AR of 673, with 50 in strength and 25 in skill. At BL 10, So Clever has an AR of 402, with the both basic strength and skill statistics of the class, that is to say 12 and 10. Well, now I'd like you to do the calculation and to focus on the difference at the end. First, you hit around 2 times harder at BL Max than at BL 10. 2. You hit around 1.7 times harder at BL 100 than at BL 10. Well, do you think now that difference is so significant? Oh yeah, one last thing. Do you think that level max will save you in any case? If you think so, you're totally wrong. Check this comparative visual. You'll notice that general physical defense is the most important statistic in terms of pure defense. It's much more representative than that indicated by the accumulation of equipment bonuses, in addition to those of outfits and runes. You should know that in fact, the defense cap of a character is reached around BL 143. Beyond this level, the defense hardly increases anymore. This suggests that even if you reach the max level on Bloodborne, you will only be entitled to a reprieve from 1 or 2 shots if you don't know how to understand the most dangerous situations. Fights you'll face in the most advanced NG pluses, as well as in the Root Depth 5 FRC dungeons, won't spare you as much as you think, although you're at the max level. Finally, let's take a look at the number of blood echoes needed to reach BL 100 and the one to access BL 544. Hang on tight, my friends, because it will hurt. No, you are not dreaming. You'll need close to 2 million blood echoes to reach BL 100, while you'll need 600 million to reach BL 544. 600 million blood echoes is just pharaonic. When you know that you can only get a maximum of about 2 million blood echoes by cleaning the Mergo area and its friendly boars, assuming that you're in NG+6, of course, don't forget it. I'll let you calculate the time you'll need to reach that so-called ultimate goal. Therefore, I suggest that you now ask yourself these two questions. Is the goal of reaching the max level really worth it? Is the ratio of time spent farming blood echoes reward in terms of damage and physical defense really satisfactory? I'll let you meditate, dear friends. Conclusion. On closer inspection, the famous cult of the max level isn't so relevant on a Soulsborne. It translates into a waste of time and monumental energy, whereas it would be enough to learn a little time to observe enemies in order to manage them. If this weren't possible, we wouldn't see as many players challenge themselves with constraint runs such as SL1 or no-death runs. It's only a question of will and investment. Skill, as some claim, has little to do with memorizing patterns. In my opinion, skill is essentially based on the ability of a person to respond to a multitude of different scenarios. However, the Dark Souls, Bloodborne and even Sekiro haven't yet reached this AI quality for their foes. They have not enough variety of moves so that we can consider that the player needs a huge degree of anticipation. Maybe one day. Thanks for watching this video. I wish you enjoyed, and if you did, don't hesitate to like it and to share it. Subscribe to my channel if you didn't yet, and join me on my different social medias. You'll find all the links in description. See you soon. Peace.